astrology, and other divinatory arts are not a replacement or substitute for physical or psychiatric health care. If this is an emergency situation or you are in crisis, please do not defer your wellness to readings or horoscopes. Seek situation-appropriate, qualified assistance instead. Hey there, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for July 2022. And just a quick heads up for all of you, I am aware that Jupiter is going retrograde at the end of this month. However, I am not going to be talking about that in this video. We're going to be talking about that in one of my special deep dive major astrology shift talks. And so that's coming. Stay tuned for that. If you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, engagement helps this channel out a lot. So what is going on when it comes to your month of July? Well, start with the sun, bringing special focus and highlights, attention, enhancement, and support to your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, intimacy, self-employment earnings, as well as partner or spousal income or contributions, as well as business partner contributions, Cancer through the 22nd of the month. With the sun in the 8th house, this is a time where a lot of you are getting a chance to transform the operations, the very atmosphere, the very mechanics of how all of these subjects in your life work in order to get more value as well as more enjoyment out of them. Because with the sun in the 8th house, you're going to be noticing that a lot of these different income avenues, for instance, are transforming the way they function for you. With the sun, this could be a time where you are, yes, getting more value or maybe more recognition, especially in situations where your recognition begets more earnings for you in some way, whether you run your own business or maybe you are working in a situation where there is some kind of incentive program or bonus program or something like that. You're also noticing that with the sun in the 8th house that there is a great deal of work getting done on eliminating a lot of blocks to growth as it relates to not only partnerships and collaborations, but anything that may be hanging overhead from the personal history of some kind of professional or joint finance situation that you have been working with or trying to work to overcome in recent or maybe even less recent history. The sun in the 8th house is also bringing in a time of play for a lot of you, especially when it comes to the realm of your private life. A lot of new adventures, but also a chance to revive and reconnect with old intimate expressions, old tastes, and old fancies that maybe a lot of you and your partners have not had a chance to indulge. And so, be ready to let your hair down this month. After the 22nd of the month, we have the sun moving on into Leo for the duration of July and on into August. Now, the sun goes into your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, as well as culture, your spiritual path and practice, and your reach. And all of the sudden, you are becoming a lot more well known. This is kind of a jet set kind of transit. And a lot of areas of your life where you are used to maybe working with a certain type of person or working under a certain type of standard or condition, well, that's going to be kind of blown out of the water because the sun in the 9th house is all about pulling you out of your bubble and getting you in contact with people that might be a bit foreign to you in some way, and yet at the same time are very powerful complementary matches to help lift you up. Not only lift you up in terms of your social prominence, but your professional prominence, give you new territories to conquer, give you a chance to maneuver out of some kind of containment or restriction that has maybe been imposed upon you, either by an old agreement or the external, or maybe even something that you took on that you wish you could take back. What I also like about the sun in the 9th house is that this does precipitate a trend for the next month or two because it kind of carries over in August when the sun moves into your 10th house of career, where you're getting a chance to enjoy a bit of a 15 minutes of fame. Is there something that you are looking to promote? Is there something that you want to build awareness around? Is there something that you want to get a new kind of attention for or with? The sun here is going to be lifting you up and making it so. We also have Mars entering Taurus, which is your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, and the teams that you're on the 5th of July, and remaining in Taurus through the duration of July and going well on into August. With Mars in the 6th house, this is a time where a lot of you are going to find that, yes, you are a big earner this month, because whenever Mars is in a work sector or an income sector, such as houses 2, 6, or 10, in this case for you 6, we start to see a great deal of revenue get generated. However, it's also going to be very hectic. There's a lot of kinetic energy going on here. And so Mars is going to be enforcing a great deal of maybe overtime, take-home work. And it could get a bit stressful, but it's also highly lucrative. So make sure you know how to balance this. Mars in the 6th house is also a time where you need to be ready to compete when it comes to all matters professional and financial. But know how to compete sportingly. Getting too personal or getting, too involved or too emotional, that's not the way to handle Mars in the 6th house. That's just kind of disqualifying you from the good you're being offered. Make sure, however, you are ready to put yourself out there on display, however that's going to go, because you're going to notice that your work, your style, your contributions, and your disciplines are going to be getting a great deal of favor, especially when it comes to any kind of rivalry that may be going on in your professional life, however that applies to you. We're also seeing new competitive roles and new competitive rewards being put in the offering for you during this period. And so you may find that we are also breaking a few glass ceilings along the way when it comes to not only our earning power, but as well as our professional prominence and presence. And of course, with the sun in Leo bringing you all that attention as well, be ready to put up. We've got Venus, the planet of love, favor, popularity, and affection, in Gemini through the 17th of the month. This is your 7th house of partnerships, your closest one-on-one connections. So your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you have your closest one-on-one involvements with. And with Venus here, this is going to be a time of much romance for a lot of you Sagittarius people, as we are bringing in a lot more demonstrations of not only affection, but starting to bring a lot more comfort, a lot more pampering, as well as a lot more indulgence into your love life. It's going to be a very sensual month for you. This is also a time where new love languages to be explored are going to be presenting in romantic partnerships or potential romantic partnerships. Now, these love languages are compatible with you and your partner. However, they may feel like brand new discoveries, but this is also adding an extra dimension of depth to your relationships. A lot of you who are maybe single or available to new people may be finding this through a new person that is giving you an opportunity to indulge or experiment with a few ideas or a few inclinations that you've not been able to take the plunge with in recent history or even your whole life. And a lot of you are also going to find that even when it comes to business partnerships and alliances, there are new ways to actually work together, or there may be some kind of new boon or new gift or new golden ticket presenting, which is changing the dynamic of this partnership as it becomes all the more substantial. After the 17th of the month, we've got Venus entering Cancer, that 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as intimacy for the duration of July and going on into August. And you're going to be noticing that you are rolling in it this month, financially speaking, because Venus in the 8th house boosts what we get or how much wealth we are drawing into ourselves, right? Venus can be a bit of a money magnet and a popularity and affection magnet as it relates to your supplemental or side income or any kind of income really that is not a part of a more conventional salary or hourly income setup. You may be finding that side gigs are becoming more lucrative. You may be finding contracts are becoming more lucrative, or maybe investments that you've made are on the rise, or that you are drawing in a great deal of sales or a great deal of bonus opportunities to you, which are also providing sums that are much higher than you are used to receiving by these means. This is also a time with Venus in the 8th house where, yes, a lot of new romantic adventures are starting as well, kind of a carryover from the 7th house. But this time with Venus in the 8th house, it's about being brave enough to maybe change the way we are engaging with each other as partners. Because with Venus in the 8th house, this is also a time of dropping maybe something that we have maintained or sustained that has been blocking our intimacy, even though we thought it was practical or we thought it was the right thing to do. Maybe we were following a script. You know how I feel about following scripts. That's just there to keep troublemakers out of trouble. We don't all need that. When it comes to Mercury, the planet of communications, speed, and productivity, Mercury is in Cancer, which is, of course, that 8th house of shared resources, passive income, and intimacy, from the 5th of July through the 19th of the month. And so between the 5th and the 19th, a lot of you are also going to find that we are speeding up your growth as it relates to some kind of investment you are looking to make in yourself or in your family, because we are speeding up the rate with which you are accumulating wealth through all of your non-salary or non-hourly income streams. Self-employed Sagittarius people, or those who aspire to, become self-employed this year, are also going to notice this as a very big luck streak or a big winning streak, especially when it comes to maybe promoting a product or a service you are looking to advertise or get in on. And you're also going to find here that with Mercury in the 5th, Mercury in the 8th, the 5th through the 19th, partners, business partners, as well as romantic partners are going to be taking on a different role or taking on a different road as it relates to maybe their work path or their career path, maybe deciding to change what they bring to the table, changing jobs, or making some kind of big and very beneficial lane shift, which is going to alter in a good way the dynamic of how we engage this partnership. After the 19th, we've got Mercury entering Leo for the duration of the month. This is that 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, culture, your reach, and your spiritual path and practice. And with Mercury in the 9th house, we are opening you up to connect with new populations of people that you are going to have an immediate rapport with as it relates to your social life, your professional life, your academic life, and your spiritual life. This is a time of new community. But with Mercury in the 9th house, this is also a time of getting out of a cultural or spiritual or professional bubble you have been in as well, right? We can't really expect a whole lot of new from the same cycles and the same routines and the same every day. And so Mercury tends to shake that up for everybody's own good. And you may be finding that just what the doctor ordered is coming from spaces you've not been looking, or spaces that never occurred to you to look at. And you may be finding you are getting help from a lot of helpful assistance, whether it's contributions being made to you, or maybe people offering to do you a solid in this way. You may also find some powerful new contacts for collaborations and alliances are popping up here as well. But again, there may be a bit of foreignness here that we need to be ready to, get familiar with. To close up, I want to talk about our lunations, right? The full moon and the new moon. We've got a full moon in Capricorn on July 13th, which is all about culminations, transitions, and endings. Now, a full moon in Capricorn is bringing a transition or an ending in your 2nd house of earned income, employment, your values, your valuables. In the 2-week window period between the 13th of July and the 27th, 28th of July, depending on where you live in the world, because it's kind of an overnight thing. And with a full moon in the 2nd house, a lot of you Sagittarius people may find a work opportunity or a career opportunity that prompts you to end your time as a certain role, or maybe as a certain service provider, or maybe change something about your professional profile in order to go and take it on. People often do find very interesting transfer opportunities or new jobs worth leaving their current station or situation for with a full moon in the second house. So a lot of you who've been looking to maybe jump ship or make a big move in that way are going to have your window to do that. And for those of you who are not thinking about making a move in that kind of way, or changing jobs or transfers or role shifts or department shifts, however it goes for you, a full moon here is indicating an opportunity to close up some kind of financial arrangement or some kind of financial venture that is no longer an asset to you. Whether it is, maybe it's become too high maintenance, it has pulled us off course, or it's become too expensive, we get a chance to purge it this month. And finally, we also have a new moon in Leo on the 28th of the month, which is opening up a 2-week window period between the 28th of July and the 10th/11th of August. Again, another overnight thing. And with a new moon, we're talking about seed planting, new beginnings, and initiations. Now, a new moon in the 9th house, which is a big theme of this month, is giving you an opportunity to take on a completely new world for yourself. Okay, when we talk about the 9th house, it's all about expansion. It's all about getting yourself out there. Travel opportunities are going to be abundant with this. In fact, a lot of you Sagittarius people who've been maybe thinking about traveling or maybe even a big territorial move are going to find that all this month, but especially towards the end with this new moon, a lot of opportunities are opening up for you to seize. Now, this could be a time where we aren't doing all of this traveling right in July or in August. We may be just kind of setting it up, getting it locked in for later on in the year. For those of you who are maybe thinking about moving abroad or working abroad, this is a great time as well because you'll have a lot of support with any kind of paperwork or bureaucracy you may have to deal with. And a lot of you are also going to find with the new moon in the 9th house, there is a level up or some kind of new addition or transformation going on to your spiritual path, practice, or community, which is going to be bringing out a lot more of the woo-woo in your life, which when that happens, come and see me, because you know me, I'm not just an astrologer, I'm all about the woo-woo. So that's what I've got for you, Sagittarius people. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.